Welcome to the Brotherhood of Fatherhood podcast, Christmas edition. What's up, everyone? This is your host, Scott, and I am joined by my very best co-host, Mr. Josh Price.
What's up, everybody? We need to, the music lovers out there, tell me what note that was that Scott hit on the intro.
Something that doesn't exist. My son, who hears that stuff, would be like, don't ever do that again. So this is a little Christmas episode. And if it's post-Christmas and you're an anti-Christmas person, then I'm really sorry. Just don't listen. But I think you should.
Ouch. I didn't know that existed.
I know. How can you not? I think I went through a phase for a few years where I just wasn't excited about it, but that's because my life was completely misaligned. So, hey, if you're thinking that maybe you're not excited about Christmas, your life is misaligned. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, could be. Send us a DM, send us a PM. We'll talk you into loving Christmas again.
That's right. I do have this question, Josh, totally off topic. DM and PM, personal message, direct message. When is it appropriate to use one and not the other?
I thought they were the same thing. That's why I just always say DM and PM, because I'm like, I don't know which one's the right one to say.
All right. Well, there we go. We could do VM, which would be a video message.
That's video message. Yeah.
So awesome. So Christmas is really starting to be real in the family here. My wife tends to do, get me also recruited to get everything up by Thanksgiving. And if it's not by Thanksgiving, it's the day after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. So how about you guys?
Yes, it's what is it, Veterans Day, I think, is usually when we start, around the 11th, because Kelly, she works for the government, so she usually has the day off. So that's when we'll start getting it going, and then we're usually finished decorating around I don't know, first week of December, second week of December. Though if it was up to me, we would just keep going.
You like it?
Oh yeah, I love it. I have 3 trees, right?
Wow.
Already. Yep. I have 2 3-footers that are themed. One is a Saints tree, for the NFL team. One is a Disney key tree. So, there's these Disney keys out there and everything. So I've got one of those. And then I have a 9.5-foot mega tree that's, the family tree, and it's all decorated up.
All the other things. That's pretty awesome. I don't know if we are prepared to be as controversial as to go into whether we do fake or real trees.
I'm a fake guy. Because I just, I pull out the fake trees, take the time to
make them look right.
Yeah, make them look right, all that. The secret is, and it should be a no-brainer, but I did it wrong for so many years. The secret is to start spreading it and everything before you put it all together.
Yes. Each section at a time. Yeah.
Usually I just stack that thing. And
yeah. You're like, oh.
Then I'd start doing it. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. Then I got married, and Kelly was like, yeah, just do it while it's still on the ground and it's easy. So
yeah. So in Oregon, Douglas firs were pretty amazing, and you could go pick out a tree and it would sort of stay good for a while. We tried all the tricks, putting the aspirin in the water and fresh cut right before you put it in the water, and all these little tricks and hacks. But there was just always that, well, you could do this in Oregon, throw it in your backyard and just light it.
Mm-hmm.
And like within milliseconds, the whole thing is 10 feet tall of absolute fire and inferno.
Yeah.
And enough times of that, and I'm like, that really isn't worth having inside of my house for a couple months.
Yeah, that does kind of make you go, ooh, it's kind of scary how fast that went up. So yeah.
Yep. So
it took I've never had a real one ever.
Oh wow. I grew up with artificial. My sister was allergic to trees, like definitely allergic to trees. And so we grew up with artificial. My mom worked really hard. They spent a lot of money back in the day making them look amazing. And then Kim was a real tree person until I convinced her otherwise.
There
And
you
so we have a lot of really cool memories of going out and cutting the trees as you can do in Oregon, kind of like the Christmas vacation thing. But I
go.
actually took a saw, and then, but I just couldn't do that anymore. It just was, yeah, it's just, so I told her, like, look, we're going to buy one and I'll prove it to you. And I did. And now that's what we do. It's totally worth it.
There you go. There you
Yep.
go. So yeah, as you can imagine, having 3 trees, and I want more. I love decorating trees and everything. I think it's just a fun, relaxing thing, and there's tons of videos on it that you can watch and everything, and get ideas and inspiration. But yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. Pulling out, getting you know big mega mesh ribbon and working it back into the pole of the
Oh,
tree and everything, so that it gives it a
yeah.
little bit more flavor, and then big ribbons on it.
Oh,
And then one thing I like to do as well is oversized um, ornaments, and then
oh,
you
okay. Yep.
look for gaps there and you stick the oversized ornament, so then like you get like a lot of depth and everything, which is really cool. So if you're looking into one space of the tree, you've got green, obviously from the tree, the branches and everything. You've got these oversized ornaments. You keep looking through, and you've got the ribbon mesh and all of that. So there's a lot of three-dimensional you know uh, um, look to it. So it's pretty cool.
Dude, you're a renaissance man.
Yeah.
Um, so do you feel like, is that turning it into a tradition, this decorating with Sully, or you and your wife and Sully get
So
together and
really, really, it's me until we go for the family ornament, and
okay,
then all three of us. But Sully, being 6, doesn't really
yeah.
care to help too much until that point, and Kelly doesn't do it right. So
Yeah, I don't do it right either. So my wife is apparently the one that does it right, and you're apparently the one that does it right.
Mhm, mhm.
But then, this year, my wife, we with the puppy in the house, decided that we weren't going to put ornaments up, and so both of my boys um, were pretty upset.
Yeah.
So they're up, but the tradition that is probably the biggest for us pre-Christmas is the lights.
Mm.
So I managed a home services branch in Austin, Texas for a while, this home services company, and then I was in a vice president role for the company. And we did Christmas decorations,
Oh wow.
large scale, like the malls that have that go, they have the 40-foot tree and all of that stuff. We did that stuff. And I hung off some really, really hairy edges and ledges of buildings, hanging lights on rainy, horrible days. And then we did homes, but like, dude, we didn't do a job under like 3 grand.
Oh,
So it was high level stuff, and you didn't keep the lights. You just got them put up for you.
right.
and they,
Hmm.
but so I think that I started doing that to my house, and then once I was done with that role, I was done with outside lights. I
Hmm.
was just done. I wasn't willing to risk my life. I just need to pay someone to do it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we don't. When I was a kid, I did. I remember, my dad would throw up lights and everything, and then I kind of took it over when I was a teenager. He didn't want to get up on the roof anymore and do all that. So I kind of took it over. Um, and I totally understand now that, because now I don't want to get up on the roof either. Um, so this year, what we did is we really decorated the front porch and everything. But
oh, your house is perfect for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huge front porch, so it looks great. Um, but next year, I've decided to do exactly that. Go and find a company and find out what it would be to really decorate it and everything. Yeah.
Home services company. Interesting. Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I see a lot of pretty much my entire neighborhood pays somebody to do it.
Right.
And there are certain people who are willing to walk on very tall ledges and just lean over. No big deal. That's what my employees were like, which is I just felt like I wanted to barf all day long watching them do it.
Yeah.
So Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, I grew up where we were splitting two families in the same town. My mom's side, my dad's side. So Christmas Eve was the big day with my dad's side of the family. So we literally had two Christmases. So we would do like my family direct in my parents and my sister and I usually Christmas Eve day.
Mhm.
And then Christmas Eve, we'd do a big dinner and go to my grandparents. And then Christmas Day, we'd meet with my other grandparents. So it was quite drawn out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we would do Christmas Eve usually with my grandma, my mom's mom, and then most Christmases were at the house. And grandma, grandpa, dad's side would either come in. Every once in a while, we'd go down there and have a big, like his sister would come in, bring her, my cousins, and everything. Um, but generally, it was always at our house. Me and Kelly have kind of adopted that tradition since we got married and everything. So normally, her parents or my dad will come in. He came in last year. They were supposed to come in this year, but um, with the pandemic and everything, Bruce's dad, that's Kelly's father, doctor said, "Do not travel.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
he's high risk." So they're not coming in, but yeah, we generally do it at our house. The traditions that we have and everything. I mean, it's always kind of fun. Like um, one of the things Kelly does, and it really is cool for the effect is like no presents go under the tree at all
Oh.
until Christmas night, and she gets up 2 a.m. or whatever and like stages it. And where I decorate trees, and she can stage presents so that you walk out and it's just like, shock and awe, like, holy cow, and then she'll put out stockings on everybody's door. So like if the house is full of people, like everybody's getting a stocking with like personalized little bitty gifts that she came up with and everything. So it's super cool. So when you wake up, that stocking is waiting for you. And then everybody comes down together and everybody's wearing Christmas pajamas that Kelly got everybody
Oh
to,
my.
to match. And then open presents. And then um, we'll cook something prime rib or, something big, a brisket, and then everybody will eat it, on it pretty much all day while we're watching um, a minimum of 37 Christmas movies. I don't know how you watch 37, but Santa can go to every house that night, so we can watch 37 Christmas movies.
So, yeah, the Christmas movie thing starts rather early for
Yeah.
us. I mean, we've already done Christmas Vacation, which we do every year. I don't think we haven't done Elf yet. We always do Elf, Miracle on 34th Street. That's more of a Thanksgiving thing. That's kind of like the kickoff. But my wife likes old movies
Yeah.
and White Christmas with Bing
Oh yeah.
Crosby and
Love
Dan
it.
Kay. Um, she, I'm not exaggerating. Watches that at least 50 times a year.
Oh
Um,
well.
yeah. So, she's got her phone. It goes with her AirPods in. She's doing everything she's doing, and it's always there. And I hear her talking. What is going on? She's quote the entire. She knows the entire movie, top to bottom, every single line, every single comment, every single mannerism. It's insane. And I used to fight it, and now I just like get an absolute kick out of her doing that. So
Yeah.
that one's big. I'm going to be really controversial. And I know this wasn't the point of this podcast, but I'm going to be really controversial. Um, Jimmy Stewart just yells too much. I can't watch It's a Wonderful Life. I couldn't figure it out till this year. And Kim was watching. I'm like, what is up with all the yelling? He's just always yelling. So are you a Wonderful Life guy or not?
Yeah. I like it. I watch it every year.
Problem. What's my problem? Uh,
You don't like yelling.
I guess not.
Yep.
I
So
want to yell about it.
controversial, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. We watched them all this year.
Yes. Good. 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 I'm on
But
board.
I'd seen them before, but I'd never done it at Christmas. And someone posted that really early on. I'm like, Kim, we're watching them. She's like, yes. So
Yep.
as horrible as they were, I mean, they're really bad movies.
Yeah.
They're just, I mean, I guess they're 80s movies. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. 80s movies.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we watched them all.
I think that's probably the more controversial statement right there is that Die Hard is a bad movie.
It's not bad. It's
Yeah.
just 80s.
Right.
And
Yeah.
80s just has its own thing, right? You know, you got the enemy from another country, usually
Mhm.
Russia or Germany or whatever, and it's just it's epic. It's epic, but it's got its things that
Oh
you know,
yeah.
yeah. So, yeah,
We need more movies like that.
yeah, I actually agree. Um, yeah, so movies are a big thing for us. Christmas in Kim's family, stockings were always from Santa,
Mhm.
so we do that. Stockings and then gifts um, and we just really do a lot of pictures and just have fun. I mean, it's probably one of the best connecting days that we
Mhm.
have, unless we're you know intentionally on vacation and have something focused in on. But um, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why I love it too. Is just yeah, just being connected and everything is just it's just awesome. Just knowing like, hey, we're gonna cuddle up on the couch the entire day and watch movies together and um, and play and get get on the floor and play with toys and since Sully's only 6, still do that. Um, even though I'm almost 40 and I still do that. And I
Oh, I
just
think it's a blast.
yeah, I just bought a new Lego set. So
So I have two topics I want to talk about. So I'm going to leave the tough one for last because I'm really struggling with it. But the first one is like my family, one of my family traditions that my mom's side of the family created, and then we just carried it on no matter who we were with on Christmas Day, is a family walk. And it's
oh,
usually
cool.
like it's not fast paced, and there's always a ball involved, and you just go and you throw stuff, and you just, I mean, it's so weird how it's evolved over the years. But it's like one of the best things, no matter what the weather, you just go. You just go, and everybody's walking at different paces, spread out all over the place. Obviously, this isn't really a city activity, as I kind of grew up in more rural areas, but we still carry it on, and it's kind of fun to just go for a walk and saunter. It's more of a saunter, right?
Hmm.
And just some crazy stuff happens on those. I mean, you start having cone wars or acorn wars or you play games like who could spot the most squirrels, and you just like all these weird things start to occur. And it's I would challenge people to try it.
Do
It's a
that.
blast. Like you don't have to like the rules are you don't force anybody to go. The rules are you don't really have a place you're going.
Mhm, mhm.
And then you don't all have to stick together. And then the other part of the rules, there's no other rules. So it's just like two or three people, hey, we're heading out for a walk. And then you give it a little time, and then they're like, are you going? Yeah, I'm going. Are you going? And then before you know it, most people are going. And it's pretty epic because it prevents the all of the drama around, I don't want to go. It's like, hey, whatever, stay, it's fine.
Yeah,
You know, but by the time you've kind of mulled around and more people, then everybody ends up going.
yeah.
It's been an awesome one. Um, I'm struggling with the gift this year for my wife.
Oh, okay.
She has been so focused on being thrifty and saving money that she just hasn't even talked about anything. I'm like,
Mm.
I don't even know what to do. Scary. It's really scary. So we talked about this. You had someone stalk your wife's Facebook profile, right?
Yeah, yeah, and kinda let me know, what were things that she's thinking about, but since then, Kelly's also sent me, like, 500 links since then, so,
Beautiful. That's
yeah.
beautiful.
So I've purchased some, of the things and everything, but, um, I had an idea, and I didn't do it this year, or I haven't done it yet. I might do this, and I was actually thinking this is might be what I do from now on. I was thinking about at Christmas with gift giving, like showing Kelly how much like I know about her and how much I love her, right? So I started thinking about like, what if I got something that's her favorite color, right? And then check that box. And then what if I got like, what's her favorite, kind of jewelry, earrings, right? But it doesn't have to be expensive or anything. It's just like that. And then like, what's her favorite food? Okay, get that. What, like, and just start making a list of like, 10 things, whatever that are favorites, 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 favorites. And then getting a gift within those um, categories or whatever like that. And I was like, when I was sitting there thinking about this, I was like, this could be really cool because
It could be
every Christmas I'm just really focused on her and her likes and her favorites and showing her like how deep our connection goes.
that's incredible. Yeah. That's a really good idea. I think that's a winner. That's a legacy you could pass on to
Right?
your son
Yeah.
for life.
Yep. I did it.
You just raised the bar, my man.
I did it. Yep. So yeah, I might have to start it this year, but I was like, well, at least I can start it next year and everything. Um, but yeah, I think it's a really cool idea.
It is a really cool idea. So what would be cool is if we came up with like a list, like these are the things: favorite color, favorite jewelry, favorite like activity, favorite like because I was
Favorite
just
drink?
thinking like one of my wife's favorite things to do is just to get away with me for a,
Yeah.
a day and a night because then you just there's
Yeah.
no agenda, right?
Yeah.
The gift of time is probably and attention is probably
Yeah.
my my greatest asset with her
Mhm.
and
Yep.
living a busy life. So
Yep. Favorite drink, non-alcoholic. Favorite drink, alcoholic.
boom, double boom.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's a really good idea.
um, yeah, yeah. Favorite makeup.
But I was gonna say, even some hard things where you really do have to pay attention. I
Mhm.
mean, like, because it's awesome that she gave you lists, and I've been like the other day, I'm like with Kim, I'm like, so if you could get anything you wanted right now, what would it be? And she's like, I don't want anything. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
I asked her like 15 times. She didn't get the hint.
Yeah. That's me, man. That's me. Uh, Part of why I thought of this, honestly, was the original question that was posed to me was, "What do you want for Christmas?"
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, nothing. I have the habit of getting myself whatever I generally want and everything, and not leaving it for Christmas. So I was like, so I got into that vein of thinking of like, well, what would be really cool? And then I was like, well, what would be really cool is like showing somebody how much you know, love, and care for them. And then I started thinking about that list and everything. And then I was like, still not going to tell Kelly this because I'm just going to use it for myself or use it
Yeah.
for her. But I should probably be like, hey, try this out, and then,
You need to capture that when you kind of come up with your categories because I
yeah,
think that's a really cool thing we could give
yeah,
to men in the brotherhood. Like,
absolutely.
hey, here's an idea that will definitely ensure some extra fun activities at
Yeah,
another time. So,
that's right.
which we're all about.
The only thing I could figure out that I wanted was a PlayStation 5. And I told Kelly, number one, I didn't even know that they were out on the market. And then I randomly saw something that was like, PlayStation 5s are out. So I was like, oh, Kelly, get me a PlayStation 5. And she's like, are you serious? You realize you can't get one? And I was like, oh, well, I, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I kind of thought of that because my boys, it's a little out of my price zone right now, but my boys haven't asked for it. They didn't ask for it. They like their PlayStation 4. They're not really gaming, but
Mhm.
um I love skateboard games. So like Tony Hawk, I was like,
Yeah.
this could be epic, or like a motocross game,
Mhm.
or yeah, something makes somebody mad, but hunting and shooting games. I mean, my son loves the Call of Duty stuff, and it drives my wife crazy. In fact, she makes him not play it when other people are around.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I'm really into, RPGs, and
yep.
I like, 100-hour, plus games,
Wow.
that are really immersive, but the problem is even as I asked for the PlayStation 5, I was like, "I don't have time to
No.
go and do this anymore." Like, I haven't played a game like that in years,
Yeah.
probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, I know what the last thing I played, it was the God of War, that, I don't even know which one it was, 3 or whatever, but then they were in, like, Norse mythology or whatever. That's, like, the last game I played.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I it's the time thing. And it's the time thing and then the level of priority. Like
Mm,
for me, if I'm gonna do something that is completely selfish, for my own time, I want to be outside. It's just a
mm,
personal thing. I want to go shoot a gun or mountain bike
yeah,
or something to that nature. But um, experience. I'm an experience guy.
yeah,
But that machine looks really cool and nearly impossible to find. So
yeah,
there's that. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I went through this. Kim asked me, and I said, I don't have a lot of wants right now. And the things that I would like, I think about would be kind of fun to have is I'd like to have a pickup again. Okay, that's not a good Christmas gift, because I like doing projects and things, and that allows me the opportunity to do that. Plus, I basically don't have a car, like literally, because my son started driving,
mhm,
um, and so that would be great. And then I'm like, but I need a new work computer because mine's not working. And she's like, okay, like, yeah, right. So nothing. I have nothing. I'm the same. I'm like, I don't know, nothing, which is hard. So, so I'm doing the same thing to her that she did to me, I guess.
yeah.
So what other traditions should we discuss before we um, move along?
I don't know, yeah,
Food,
I
food.
don't know, maybe food. Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I kinda went into that. It's usually, prime rib or brisket for us. Usually, turkey's Thanksgiving, we're not gonna do another turkey. Um My grandma, oh my god, when we were little, she would always have, or bring tons of, like, peanut brittle and
oh yeah.
fudge and all kinds of stuff, but we didn't follow into that.
So I think that's where the whole walk thing came from, is the kind of trying to get yourself out of the sugar coma, right?
Mm,
Because I my family never grew up eating a lot of sugar, and there was always those things. You eat a lot of food, and you eat a lot of sugar, and you're just kind of like, head swimming. Um, it's really probably the time that I don't really hold back on sugar stuff, which is really not good because I just don't feel good. So it's like
yeah.
you take a
Well,
great day and then you don't feel good, right?
yeah, it's funny that you say that and everything because that's how we started this conversation before we actually
Yeah.
started the podcast. We were talking
Right.
about, like, um, listeners, I don't know if we ever talked about it, but me and Scott did the 75 hard challenge this year, and we, um, you know, both were feeling great. And I lost a bunch of weight. Scott didn't have a lot to lose, even though he says he does. He doesn't have a lot. Dude is in really good condition, or shape, or whatever you want to say. So, I was like, dude, I want to do another one after the new year. But I was like, but I have to get through Christmas first because I have to really feel the pain. I got to
Oh,
put myself
feel it.
back in the pain cave of Christmas, of the overindulgence and the
Yeah.
pies, and that will probably be the one thing that I do is I'll probably bake a pie using my grandma's recipe. I'll probably do that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm like, I want to overeat. Kelly makes amazing macaroni and cheese, just
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, dude, you're making me
Yeah.
hungry.
Homemade, it's insane. I want to eat the entire. So I'm like, so we talk about food and going into the pain cave. I'm like, already, it's funny obsessing about the 75 hard afterwards because I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, like there's a It's going to hurt coming out of it, but it's going to be amazing.
I'm not much of a New Year's Eve or New Year's resolution guy. So like, I'm like, why wait? Why not start now? And that's what I've been doing all year. I've been doing, but one thing that I do, we're jumping into the New Year's conversation here, but I pick one major habit I'm going to change a year.
Ooh,
One.
yeah.
And that's a must do.
We'll save that for the next episode.
I will, but I am going to start 75 hard after New Year's for the same reason you are. I want to eat some pizza. I want to have some pie and ice cream. Like, ice cream makes me as sick as possible. It is the one food in the world that once I start, it's really hard to stop. I have a massive issue. I need to be checked in for ice cream addiction. So I'm going to allow myself a little ice cream. And then it's going to put me into the pain cave, and I'm going to be so ready for that 75 hard. And we will talk about that. We will talk about I think we want to do an episode about habits.
Let's do an episode on habits and the one thing, and we can kind of put it out there. Yeah.
Dude, the one thing. And I will tell you my story about the one day I missed this year. One day.
Ooh.
My goal was to hit 365 days. It's going to be 364.
Wow. Okay.
So
awesome.
Pretty good.
Well, there's the teaser for the next episode, or for the New Year's episode.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm already ready to. Let's record it today. No, I got to think about food first. So, well, I hope you guys all have an amazing Christmas. And I know Josh does too. I hope you have some family traditions where you really, really, really put down the things that distract you and focus 100% on what matters. That's your faith and your family. Those things should be at the absolute top of your list during the holiday seasons. And so I think from both of us, Merry Christmas. Wouldn't you say, Josh? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. And we will see you in the new year with a load of really exciting things from the Brotherhood, from the podcast. I think 2021 is going to be a pretty stellar year as far as Brotherhood of Fatherhood goes. So more on that later. Thank you so much for being a listener to this podcast. And instead of closing the way I normally close, I'm going to say, listen again. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.